Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, React and Chill with me, Dika. So last time on Fruit Baskets, the final season, we finally got the conclusion of that where it picked up from the end of season 2 when Kureno and Tohru were finally having that talk, and obviously Tohru found out that Kureno's curse has actually been broken. We had found out that Kureno explained the story, the fact that Akito is really female, and there's only a select few members of the family who are aware of this. He also goes on to explain about the original dream, the memory, the original banquet, the memory that they all shared as young children. Well, not all of them, but Hattori, Shigure and Ayame had shared, including Kureno, as children of the original memory of the banquet. And something I forgot to pick up last time was that in the deity in that memory, in that dream or in that memory, was holding the cat. The cat was there, so I don't know if that means something, if that's meant to mean something for Kyo, because as we know that he's the current holder of the cat zodiac. But that's just something I forgot to point out because they were holding the cat. Secondly, so yes, we found out that they all picked up, they were all very aware when Akito came into this world, as Akito represented the deity, the god, the main person of the banquet. And he also mentioned that she's also a lost child, because he was also explaining her reason. He was explaining his reasons to Tohru why he stayed with Akito. Now, Tohru unfortunately had to find out not necessarily the hard way, because it was quite a sad episode, that there's a lot more, it's a very complicated family time. Kureno also explained why he could never return Arisa's feelings because of that. He said, regardless, I am technically free, however I still see a young girl, I still see a crying girl, someone that still needs help. Before I go on to Akito, because we did meet another character not that far into the episode, so he'd explained, and obviously Tohru felt so bad, not just because she felt like she couldn't be there for a friend, but she knew that Kureno was sacrificing, putting his feelings aside for, by the looks of it, the sake of Akito, because she seems to already be on a thin thread by the sounds of it. So he was sacrificing his feelings to be able to move on and potentially find other people for the sake of Akito. Now, we also met another character, Ren Soma. We thought Akito was a B, but Ren Soma is the bigger B. She's her mother. Now, Ren and Akito, we find out, clash a lot. She apparently calls her bonds fake, and this is why they always argue, this is why they always fight. Kureno mentioned that he felt the ego forming. So when they had woken up from that dream where they dreamt of the banquet, the original memory, I think it was called, that's when he felt the ego forming, almost that bond automatically tying them all to Akito. Almost something that they couldn't, and it was perfectly reflected by what Isuzu said, that they wouldn't be able to leave her side. For generations and generations, it repeats itself. They would never be able to leave Akito, or whoever ends up being reincarnated in that position. It's just something that forms. Now, going back to that, it almost felt like from that one scene we got, it was meant to be, I felt it should have been a bit more sincere. Unfortunately, I think, which we'll find out, and I know Kureno touched on this, about how Ren treated Akito, and I definitely think that her treatment of Akito is what caused Akito to act the way she does. I feel like that was meant to be more of a sincere bond, rather than something that it's obsessive, what it's turned into. So that was my hot take on that. I think there's a lot for Tohru to unfortunately take in, because obviously finding out all of that, finding out the issues, reasons with Akito, we get a little bit more of get a bit of inkling of the fear, what everyone has to unfortunately live with. But the oldest being able to understand why they act that way and why they are that way. So it was a really good first episode, a really good way to introduce the season. I'm so excited to see what happens for the rest of the season. I wonder how Tohru is now going to go forward with this new information. The other thing was that obviously when Tohru went to stay around Saki's house, it's almost like Shigure knew. Like, she was and again, with me, I'm always on the fence with Shigure. I don't know whether he's meant to be the good guy, the bad guy. He did save Yuki, but I don't know if that was a ploy, almost like a domino effect, to unravel Akito's grand plan. And then that New Year's episode, I think was in season 1? Was it season 2? I forgot which one. Was it Valentine? I don't know. But there was an episode where he actually wanted to spend the day with Akito. So again, it's just this back and forth. I don't know where. I think the jury's still out on Shigure. I'm not sure what to think about him. And I really like that little bit at the end when Kyo was still able to recognise her scarf and was able to pick it up for her. So I can't wait to see what happens now that we were introduced to Ren. I wonder what sort of part she's going to play, because Karina mentioned that Ren was pretty much, it's 100% guaranteed Ren is the one who unfortunately must have driven Akito crazy. How now that's going to make put everything into perspective for Tohru. So yeah, I think that was everything. So without further ado, here's episode 2.
What? Have you been walking around the compound asking everyone that?
I hope we get more about these two. I need to know this dynamic.
I care about you more than anyone else. That's an unwavering truth.
The title of the episode.
Yes, Akito. I love you.
That's something so random to think of when you're in bed with another man, but...
Our class is in charge of the flower decorations.
We eldest are the only zodiac members who know the truth.
Oh, that's why she's like that.
Yes?
It's about... Oh dear, are you thirsty? I'll just go into the kitchen and make some tea.
I can't blame her. It's a difficult topic to ask about.
It's too hard to ask about.
And how would you bring it up?
I should. Feels like I'm looking into a dark well with no bottom in sight.
It's just complicated.
But flowers too. You know what that makes us, right? Twinsies.
Mama
I'm
G.
having so much because of Momo. Papa said that she wants to come to this school. Of
Aww.
course, that had him panicking. Silly. She's a lot younger than me. Not even about Oa-chan and Kurina. I'm sorry.
This is fan club.
Halt, thieves, get back here!
We need those!
It seems they targeted the ones Yuki made specifically.
Of course.
You'd better get folding, Kyon.
Kyon.
Wait, why are you dragging me into this? What the hell? Where'd they go?
I did it. Whoever gets Kyo's flowers gets his love.
He's got his own fangirls.
She just made that up.
Does that mean we have to make the replacements?
Not gonna let him get away with this crap. Track him down and take those flowers.
Heck yeah!
Wait.
Can I help out with anything?
Oh, hey, Sama-senpai. No, it's
Aw.
fine, really. I mean, thank you for the offer, but we're good.
Aw.
Machi, what's wrong? You're really out of breath.
It's your fault. I couldn't predict your brute and kept losing you. I saw you before, and I don't know. I figured I would find you and say hello.
She sought me out. Just me.
That's so cute.
Thank you.
That's adorable.
Pretty sure I didn't deserve that.
I love how both our couples are having a moment. We had Yuki and Machi, and now we've got Kyon and Tohru. Bursting with excitement.
Kyo, what would you think if there was somebody in the zodiac who was different?
Anyway, I don't like what ifs about that kind of stuff.
That was really sorry.
No,
Of
wait,
course, because the situation Kyon the situation Kyon is in. Oh, Kyo. Oh.
Apologies.
Aww. Really sweet.
We apprehended the thieves.
Exhausting.
Well, they probably deserve worse than they got.
We were merciful. Susu. Oh, look at I said anything.
Sure, if you say so.
Yep, it's easy, should know.
What's wrong with me? I can't believe I'm only thinking about Susu now. Don't leave yet, Shigure. At least greet Akito first.
Oh, no, thank you. That would take far too much time.
If you know those people, shouldn't we have invited them to come for a drink with us?
Why on earth would I want to drink with my parents?
Are you kidding me? Those two people back there are your parents?
Really?
Sons, there's a dinner here tonight. An exclusive gathering for the main family. Oh, and look. The honored family head arrives.
Akito.
Although, I guess he might not appreciate being called beautiful. Fine. I did tell
Bitch! Why you mad?
him to pay his respects.
What was that?
Shall I fetch him back?
Don't seem too surprised. Do you already know? I realize that you probably hate me, but
I hate you. I truly, truly do.
it'll make it that much easier for you to play the poor, pitiful martyr.
Damn.
There's one person. She's always one. And I think we both know it isn't me.
Oh. So Shigure has had feelings for Akito. I remember thinking that last season that when there was that clash, I assumed it was a case of jealousy or some sort of sense of jealousy. But we'll talk after.
I have to say, in that outfit, you look even more masculine than usual.
A woman with you. Who was she? You slept with her yet?
I would never.
Really? That surprises me.
Sorry. Which her would that be?
Ren, who else? How dare you? Really? How dare you sleep with her?
Really?
You told me to leave, remember? You know that's the only reason I live in that house instead of here.
Yeah,
Oh. Okay. Now I know why he was in there. I was thinking she makes nobody leave. She doesn't allow anybody to leave. How the hell did he get out away from the house?
Test. Is that what this is? Some kind of warped test of yours?
No, Akito, I'm not testing you. I did it because you slept with Kurano.
Because of me.
What is this game that they're playing?
In fact, I love her so much that sometimes I want to spoil her rotten.
I'm not just anyone, I'm special.
And sometimes I want to crush her to a pulp. If you don't get it, there's no point discussing this further.
Oh. Have they done this before? Like, entertain this?
You deny your femininity, and yet you're always ready to use it as a weapon against me.
Oh my goodness.
Just haven't realized it. I was waiting that day.
Look at that Owens. A friend of Soma's, maybe? Since when did Soma have friends? You're so mean.
I've been right here, waiting for you.
So that was episode 2. What an emotionally charged, and I was excited. I wanted to get the bit with Shigure and Akito, and we finally did. There's always been a game of tug and war, so Shigure must have always wanted Akito. Has always been, by the looks of it, in love with Akito. But I feel like, okay, we have to do a timeline. Akito kept Kurano close because she found out that the zodiac sign broke, and then they were obviously sleeping together. Kurano was only doing that just to keep her at bay because he wanted to be able to give something back to her. And like he even mentioned, she doesn't cling on to him because of love. It's because she's desperate not to lose him. So I've never realised that there's been this emotional warfare between both Shigure and Akito. Now I kind of know where Shigure stands. He looks so villainous when he was standing there saying, sometimes I want to spoil her rotten, sometimes I want to crush her to a pulp. They are the perfect manifestation of such a manipulative, abusive couple. So, and I finally know I mean, the manga readers would have known this, but I finally know why Shigure was out of the house. It's because he slept with Ren, and therefore Akito told him to leave, and then when he left, and I'm assuming that would have been around the time when Yuki was desperate to get out of the house, if the timeline precedes itself, or maybe it was a couple of years after. So he was like, you know why I did that? Because you slept with Kureno. But obviously he didn't realise what the issue was. He's always hated Kureno because of his closeness with Akito. Oh, this is so much. I mean, and that was just the Soma part. This is crazy. I felt really bad for Tohru at the beginning. She feels like she doesn't know who to talk to. Everyone wants the curse to be broken, and I love how they highlighted when she was trying to speak to Kyon, and she remembered, you know, he has the worst because of obviously his curse and what being the cat spirit means. Momoji, because obviously if the curse broke for him, he could be with his sister, he could be able to go back to his family. This was just, I wasn't expecting as much drama so far, but this is, so Shigure in a way loves Akito, but then at the same time wants to, it's almost like, I love you so much, I want to see you hurt, and that's what it is. Akito was dropping some serious, I'm meant to be special, you're meant to belong, you are meant to all belong to me. And there was a couple of times where they stated masculine she was, and then, so I'm wondering if that was the first time they've done that. But good grief, I feel bad for everyone involved in this. Kureno feels like he's, unfortunately, the way he was like, you're going to be a martyr. I mean, I know Shigure was a bit shifty, but damn. Going back to more lighter parts, I did like the bit between Yuki and Machi, how she ran around wanting to say hello. I do remember she went through her own thing at the back end of last season. So they're both on similar paths, them being able to come into their own, being able to be their own person. So I thought that was sweet. Interesting episode, and it's probably gonna get better from here. I do know that, so Shigure, like he stated at the end, he has always been waiting. He has always been there. He was legit in love with her, and I'm glad. This is silly. I'm glad they reminded us of how old she is before we got that scene. But oh my god, I couldn't. I mean, there are currently people outside in the kitchen, so I wanted to scream when he was like, chuck that tie off. And it just goes so, I think everything, her being all masculine represents everything he hates, at the fact that she's this Akito, and I need to go get some milk. That was crazy. I can't wait to see where we go on from here. I can't wait to see where Tohru's found an ally to speak to. She's definitely feeling it, all that pressure. The Deep Abyss is a very complicated family history, and yes, Isuzu was one person who's always wanted to break the curse. So I guess as it stands, nobody else apart from Shigure, Kureno, has been broken out of the curse, and obviously Tohru now, nobody else seems to know. So I am interested to see what happens next. That was a good episode. If you did like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It's another day in the Soma family, another day full of drama. But that was all this time. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time.